I'm Poogie.
I'm Maule. And this is the Poogie and Maule show. Boy, that was pretty slick that time.
Yeah.
I mean, we got it down.
We got that down.
So
Poogie and the Maule show.
Yeah, Poogie. Is that alphabetical? No, it's not. We should have reversed it.
The Maule and the Poogie show?
That didn't sound right, but that's alphabetized.
Is that how you're supposed to do that?
I don't know.
Where is it written that
There's
you do
no
it that
rules.
way?
No, show business. We're breaking all the rules.
Yeah, just going against the grain.
If this was real show business, we would have at least 10 useless employees right here standing around.
Yeah.
They'd be called producers, and they'd be like, I don't know.
Can we do it that way?
Yeah. Is that what they look up in the handbook of show business?
Handbook of show business.
Yeah. No, it's a rainy day in East Texas today, and it rains a lot in East Texas, but today is, what kind of special day is it? What's coming right now?
A hurricane.
A hurricane. That's
yes.
right. What are your thoughts on hurricanes?
Well,
now you told me yesterday. What were you barking about the hurricane?
It's we're going to get some of those bands off of it.
Well, bark like you did yesterday. Relive yesterday.
I said, don't come up with that crap.
There you go.
We all came in the door. It's going to come a hurricane. Oh, let's go get in the tornado shelter.
Yeah.
You know. Or as Cade used to call it, the tomato shelter.
Tomato shelter.
Daddy, he'd see me out there cleaning that storm shelter out. I'd see that there's going to be a front coming in or something in the night.
You're pretty paranoid about storms.
I am. Yeah, I mean, I just like to be safe.
Yeah.
Instead of Leon, they should have been safety.
Yeah.
It should have been Nathan's
safety
orders.
So he would come out, Cade, your kid.
Would come out, and I'd go down in that. I have got a very nice, not very far from right here where we're sitting, tornado shelter in the ground. And that I bought after Katrina. I bought that thing about 16. Today or tomorrow is the 16th anniversary. Did you know that?
Well, and that's how long I came here right after. I was
Katrina?
Blown into town by Katrina.
Oh, it shoved you on over. You got him one of those feeder bands.
I was a Katrina or something, whatever they call them. Yeah. So, and he called it the tomato shelter?
He'd see me going out there and kind of getting prepared, and I'd climb down in there, or just walk down in there. It was just like walking down a set of steps, and he'd come over and he'd look in, he'd say, Dad, he said, are we going to get in a tomato shelter tonight? Because I'd make them get up for drills.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I would.
Your poor children.
I'd go in there and
like in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Say,
tomato drill.
Tomato drill. Get in the tomato shelter now.
Wow. That's kind of scary. I mean, your kids have post-traumatic stress syndrome from all that or anything?
They made it through all that.
They did all that.
Yeah.
Now, is it possible that someday we could maybe shoot our show in your tomato shelter?
We'll do that.
That'd be fun. Wouldn't that be fun?
It'd be great.
Do you, when I was little, my grandmother had a tornado shelter. And it was the weirdest, scariest place I'd ever been in my life. Like, if you had a choice, as a child anyway, between getting in the storm shelter or just letting the storm blow you to Kansas like Dorothy, you would let the storm blow you. Because, it was like a horror movie. You go open that door up, it had a wire kind of hooked to a weight.
Yeah, a counterweight. So it would help you pull the door up.
10 door, that's going to save you.
An old 10 flapping on it where nails
exactly
came out,
And we'd open it up, and it was just cobwebs and rattlesnakes and black widow spiders and tarantulas.
And the sound. Ooh.
And down below was potatoes and onions and canned peaches and stuff.
Yeah. And maybe tomatoes.
I don't know. But God, I have memories of that. That was a scary, dark. And they had lanterns, like coal, because electricity was going to go out. So you'd have kerosene.
Coal oil or kerosene lanterns. Yeah.
Lanterns.
Yeah.
Yours is probably a lot nicer than that.
Do you recall looking at the old storm shelter over at my grandmother's place?
Yes.
Where Joel
that looks
lives?
like my grandmother's. Yeah, that was like that.
The only time I was ever in that one, it come a big hailstorm, and it was in the early to mid 60s. I don't remember what year, but anyway, had a big storm, and hail was on the ground out there.
Oh, hail!
You couldn't see the ground for the hail. That's how thick it was. And my grandpa, Joe, had called and said, y'all get over here to my house. We got to get in the storm shelter. Well, the storm shelter, this was a concrete shelter.
Yeah.
And it was that deep in water.
Oh, that's fun.
So he rolled an old truck tire off in there, and there was 6 or 7 of us standing on that tire in a circle, holding on to each other, and him peeking out the door. Yes.
Did he think the world was ending or something at that point?
Well, it came, a tornado came through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was and I don't know how he got the message, but.
Well, he probably had that safety factor like you have in your DNA.
Yeah, blew an old, where the pawn shop is, the last one on South Street over there. Yeah. There was a theater, outdoor, drive-in theater out there, and it blew that thing down that day.
Wow. And you had to drive from your house in the hail.
No, just walk across the street.
But in the hail.
Yeah, in the hail. Well,
was the hail?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. And I had that little old.
And you still had that soft spot in your head, probably. Oh my!
Dodging that hail.
Yeah, hail scares me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That hail's hail, man.
Well, that's always so weird to me because hail comes in like when it's 100 degrees or 98 degrees, it'll be hot.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden ice is falling out of the sky. That's unnatural to me.
Yeah.
And you don't have hail in Los Angeles where I live for so many
Never
years.
did have any.
No, you don't have any hail. You have like smog and sometimes locust plagues or frogs or something will fall from the sky. But
we had a hail event about a year and a half ago on the street that I live on in town.
Yeah, I was there, not at your house, but I was in the town.
And it was a big enough hail event that almost every house on our street got a new roof.
Yeah, I'm actually putting a roof on my house right now because of that.
Probably the same, because that's, as the crow flies, it's probably not a mile.
No, it's probably not.
About a mile.
Yeah.
And we drove by your house yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you stop or?
No, we just looked to see if you were sitting in the yard.
Oh, okay.
It was after the Fredonia, going to the Fredonia.
Oh.
Yeah. After that, we showed my in-laws where you lived.
Oh, okay.
And so anyway.
Did they have any like oh, that poor guy, what a terrible place or anything? Did they have any good gossip about it or?
They were wanting to know about that other little deal right down the street that with the city.
Yeah.
They were wanting to know about that thing, and we showed them, give them the kind of the layout of what was going on there with that, and and so.
Did you never chase storms? I guess they chased you more like.
Yeah. I have been out in storms where I didn't want to be with the fire department because it didn't make any difference.
Oh.
I mean, you had to go. I had to go, yeah.
Yeah.
And like standing out there and lightning popping and cracking all around you. Pretty intimidating.
Do you know that one thing that happened to me here one time with a storm, I think maybe it wasn't a hurricane thing, but I was driving home from the lake. I'd probably been with you and everybody out there fishing, but I was driving home and it was almost dark and I was taking the one that goes by Bailey Bark, that road, you know, is that called the Woden Road?
Woden Road, yeah.
Okay.
FM 2259.
And I was driving, and it was a storm, and suddenly before me, laying across the road, was where the road was this way, and then it was like a hedge across the road. And so I put my brakes on real quick, and it was a freaking tree had fallen straight across that road.
Yeah.
And if it'd been at night, I would have just hit that wall of the tree because it's a big tree.
Yeah.
And then I got all paranoid because I thought, well, I'm safe. I pulled off to the side, but somebody else.
All these other people.
All these
are they
other
going to
people
start plowing into
Yeah,
the
they're
back
going to
of
start plowing into it. So I started putting my blinkers on and standing outside and waving. But that was a really exciting moment.
Yeah. And since you were the first in line there, they would have plowed you too.
Yeah, they would have run in. But, you know, there's something about being a hero, kind of. I can understand the fireman thing because I went from being, I'm tired and I'm driving home from fishing to like Superman. All of a sudden I was like, where's my blinkers? And you got to, you know, it was weird how that.
You just needed a little safety vest to throw on it.
I did. If I'd had that.
You'd had to.
I mean, I literally felt like how your mind works. I was like, man, probably going to be in the paper tomorrow. You know, out of work soap actor saves country people's lives.
Yeah.
It didn't happen, but that's the kind of juice.
Could have though. I mean, it would have been a good story.
You know, if one of those roving reporters had been there right after me, but it was funny.
Or at least a storm chaser with a camera.
Yeah. I saw a storm chaser in Nacogdoches one day. I pulled up to the
Had all those things on.
little quickie mart, but I'd never seen anything like that. He had like tailpipes coming out and antennas all barking all up and down.
Had those ham radio.
He did.
Antennas on the car. And that's how they communicate. There's an actual
ham
radio club here in town, and I've always kind of been interested in that.
I am too, but they seem a little clubbish to me, like you might have to fit in or something.
Yeah,
because I've listened.
Reckon we'd fit?
I don't think so.
We could tend for them, and
we should get a ham radio operator on here one day and quiz him.
Well, that'd be good.
Because there's an etiquette, you know, and I've been on listening in on them before, and they're like, this is 1020 Grasshopper 5-4. Get your ass off of there and stop, you know, because other people get on there and make fun.
You don't want a radio check. I need a radio check.
Radio check, you know.
And,
but they're serious, you know.
Yeah. There was one of the guys I worked with at the fire department that was in that club, Rusty Sanders. He was actually one of our.
His name was Rusty.
Huh?
Well, Rusty sounds like a radio ham operator.
Yeah, Rusty the ham operator.
Yeah. Well, we need to get one of those on. My mother's actual name, because back in the day, everybody had a CB radio.
Yeah.
And her name was Grasshopper.
Grasshopper.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a
handle?
Yeah. What was your handle?
I don't think I ever had one. I was just in the car listening to her.
Guess what mine was?
What?
You ain't got no.
Listen, little Poogie.
Poogie.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Poogie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've used that Poogie on.
I don't know where she got Grasshopper.
And we were actually at Poogieville.
Oh, we are today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
this is coming to you from Poogieville.
Did you incorporate this little town here?
No, haven't yet, but
have you thought about it?
Thought about it, yeah.
Because you could become the mayor of Poogieville.
Mm-hmm. Already got that fire, because I could be the fire chief.
Yeah. And you could actually vote it wet if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, get a liquor store out here or something.
Yeah. I think it's already wet out here.
Oh. Okay. The reason I know that's because where I'm from in West Texas, it was dry. There was no. Did you know that when I was growing up, the planes flying overhead could not serve drinks
over your county?
Over our county?
Get out of here.
No.
You can't make stuff up like that, can you?
You could be on a flight from New York to San Francisco that happened to be going south a little bit, and they'd just shut you right down for Scurry County, and then they'd pick back up over there.
I want to hear. I've heard it before, but I want to hear it again. It's always enchanting to hear. Is the story about your puppy chasing the airplane?
It is.
It's so boring out there. The dog chasing.
It's true.
Airplanes.
It's true. We always had a dog. You know, as a little kid, I always had a dog, and we usually came in pairs because they would show up. Somebody drop them off at the cattle guard, and we always, you know. But anyway, there was nothing to do, nothing to see, nothing to chase, and my dogs.
They drop them off at the airport
at night. My dogs at night would run out and they'd be on top of the hill just barking and barking and barking. We'd go out there and there'd be a little tiny plane passing over. And they would chase that plane all the way across our land.
I bet they thought, I wish a rattlesnake. Couldn't a rattlesnake, anything just come through here?
Oh, they were the best, though.
Give us a little excitement.
How many times in my life have the dogs bark? And in where we lived, we had a gun by every door. Okay, you probably did too when you were a kid. Yeah. And the dogs would bark, and there'd be this big discussion in the house about, what do you think it is? Is it a mountain lion, a bobcat, a coyote, a rattlesnake? You know, our version of what was scary was a lot different than town people or something. Yeah. And my father would put his boots on. This is probably where I got that idea. And I just had thought about that. He would put his boots on. He's already in his, he's in his underwear and T-shirt because it's bedtime. They were in bed. He would put his boots on and get the gun out, and he'd be out in the yard, scoping, following the dogs barking. And it was usually a raccoon or a skunk, usually a skunk. Probably.
Or an airplane.
Yeah, but what I would give for a photograph of him in his underwear and cowboy boots. Yeah. And then here I was later on running off as a 2-year-old or 2.5-year-old in my underwear and cowboy boots. Where do you think I learned that?
You got it honestly, didn't you?
Yeah, I got it honestly. Yeah, we lived in, anybody that came down our road, we only had a road, it was a mile down that road, dirt road, off the blacktop.
Did it have a no outlet sign on it out there?
No. It just...
that like...
like no outlet, no.
That means don't come down our street just to turn around and go back out.
Well, you had to... When you came down our road, you were taking a wrong turn in life. I don't know why that was, but my mother, who was uncanny at this, she would be sitting there, they each had a chair that they sat in, and she'd be sitting in her chair, and she'd go, somebody just turned in our cattle guard. And everybody would go on alert, just like your tomato shelter. Yeah. And the whole family would just be like, what's going on?
How far was the cattle guard?
That was a mile away, but she could feel it, and she could feel the vibration or something, and we would go into panic mode. My dad would get his gun out and go out and stand on the porch, and the kids are all and the kids are all hiding, and my mother's behind my father and everything, and then it would be just like my mother's brother and his wife, or her sister and her husband, just coming from Lubbock to visit us, and it was like, okay, at ease, we don't have to kill them, But I mean, there was a real distinct possibility that you were going to die if you came down our road any time that was unexpected. We were on alert.
Yeah. Well, we were somewhat that way. I can remember a lot of times that my mother would holler at me in the middle of the night or about bedtime. She'd say, Poogie, go in there, get up and go in there and see if I thumb bolted that door.
Look, there's your son.
Yeah.
With a beautiful lady.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's thumb bolt. What's that mean?
Think about it.
Oh, thumb bolt.
Thumb bolt.
Okay. Deadbolt.
She coined that phrase. Poogie, would you please get up and go? I don't know if there was ever a please in there. But anyway,
I'm sure there
she'd
was.
say, go see if I thumb bolted that door. So I'd get up, go through the house and go in there. Yes,
Make
ma'am.
sure it's locked. Did you
But
know?
we never worried about the car keys being in the car. Cars
Yeah.
kept the keys in them all the time.
Otherwise, you couldn't find the keys.
Yeah. Where's the key? They're in the car.
Yeah.
Where they're supposed to be.
See, isn't that weird? We didn't have a lock on our house.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, never
we had a
at
thumb bolt.
night. Because we had dogs, so therefore, if anything came, we knew about it. So.
And I think ours was probably the bathroom model where somebody stuck a nail in it from the outside and popped it loose.
No, that's the way it was. You could just
come
open.
right on in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
anyway,
That's amazing. I was thinking about we started talking about hurricanes and then we didn't get anywhere with it.
Let's see if we can get that back going again.
Yeah, I mean, you lived through. Is Katrina the biggest hurricane you ever had here?
When I was in about the time I went to we were talking about before when I went to I was in the third grade twice.
Oh, okay, long time ago.
That
55
what was that
or
big
something.
one. No, that was it was in the 60s.
That was 69.
Carla.
Yeah.
Carla, I think, was about the biggest one. It and Katrina were about the same. I think Category 4s.
No, so is Carla the
maybe
one
a
where
5.
Dan Rather got famous?
Maybe so. I think
Okay,
so. I
okay.
think so.
But did it blow here?
Yes, it blew here. It hit. It went into Galveston, I do believe.
Right.
And they always told us, at the fire department, we never had a big one come through that I can recall while I was down there, enough to destroy anything around here. But you get a Category 4 or maybe a 5. It hits down here at the right angle at Galveston or Lake Charles. It can cause some damage up here, as we seen.
Pine trees blow. Isn't that weird? Pine trees blow over.
And when them things started, Cade, we went to loading up out here. I went to the hotel.
Oh, you checked into the hotel?
Oh, yeah. I was in a mobile home out here.
Yeah, they hit mobile homes, don't they?
Yeah.
You remember that day when I asked you if you got up on the wrong side of your trailer house that day?
Yeah. It's when we had the 8:60 a.m. Maule in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was kind of grouchy that morning about something.
Why were you so grouchy that day?
He said, well, it seems like somebody got up on the wrong side of the trailer house this morning. Now, was that nice?
No, it wouldn't. It was one of my bad days.
Yeah.
A little bit of a Hollywood moment there.
Yeah,
But,
I see.
yeah.
But
the hurricane Carla, when she rolled in,
Carla was a scary deal. A lot of wind and rain.
and you checked into the hotel.
No, not Carla. I checked in on Katrina.
Oh, okay.
And then not too long after that, about a year later, what was that other one that hit down there?
Ike.
I checked in up there again.
Now,
And took that young man that just came in over there. I took him down there with me.
Yeah.
And,
how does checking into the hotel?
they're telling you. How do you decide to do that?
Well, I mean, let's see. I'm in danger. I think I better check into the hotel.
Okay. All right.
What is that about?
Well,
Is it
I'm in a trailer house out here
okay?
at the farm.
And that's where
with my
tornadoes and hurricanes hit. That's the kind of place that gets blown away.
Yeah. You've heard of happy as a tornado in a mobile home park.
Yeah. I haven't heard that, but that's
I just felt like that when they go to telling you we're going to have winds in excess of 60 to 70 miles an hour. If you're in a mobile home, take shelter now.
yeah. Okay.
But I sort of already had it lined up had a reservation down there. So we went down twice. And the second time that I went, they wasn't going to let me have a room up there.
How'd you handle
And I
that?
said, well, y'all sure do have. I'm still have all my firefighting stuff, my EMT.
Did you flip that badge out on them?
Well,
I know you did.
Well, I told them, I said, it sure would be handy for y'all to have people coming up there in wheelchairs, somebody to help y'all with all these folks that's coming in from on the coast down there and everything. I said, that's right. They had the Hayden Edwards suite on the top floor up there. It's the bridal suite. And they gave that to me. I had me and them two boys in that.
Where was I under my car? I mean, did it occur to you to call me and say, Brad, maybe you should come up here too?
Was that before you got here?
I think I was here during Ike because I drove around looking.
What about Katrina?
No, I told you I blew into town.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know you then.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I would have had you down. I had your little old space down there for sure.
That'd be
buddy.
Good. Now is that on the 6th floor of the hotel?
Yeah.
How safe could that be?
Southeast. Yeah, it was. I worried about those windows facing the southeast. It's that very corner one.
Right.
You can.
Best view in town.
Best view in town, yeah. And those kids.
God, wouldn't you love to know the history of a hotel room that you're staying in?
Maybe.
I mean,
how about you?
I don't know. I just think about that. Like all the people, all the weddings and the good times.
Reckon who stayed here?
That's it. I mean, and do you think they ever go, well, that Poogie the fireman stayed here at one time during the hurricane?
They'll know now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I stayed there.
Did Hayden Edwards ever stay there?
I don't think he
Why
did.
was it named after him?
Hayden was probably gone by 56 or 57.
Oh, okay. He was a pioneer.
I don't know much about him. I know there's a Hayden Edwards bed and breakfast.
Yeah. Which he never
at?
stayed in either, I'm
he
sure.
Probably didn't. But
you know who's considered the worst senator ever to serve at all? I looked this up yesterday because I was looking for a name for a script. Bilbo Thomas. Bilbo.
I got a buddy of mine. His name's Bill Wade. His nickname's Bilbo.
Well, we should look him up because I don't have anything against
Bill Wade or Bilbo.
I don't have anything against Senator Thomas, but I just looked up. You know how you do on the internet. I said worst senators ever, and he was number 1 on the list. Now I don't know what he did or anything, but I'll find that out. I just like that name, Bilbo.
Well, yeah, that's a good name.
So obviously you were here when the Columbia went down. Do you got any memories about that?
Lots of them. Lots of memories of that.
Where were you?
I was out there on Woden Road. I actually lived over there in that, it's a rental unit. It's the house that
you tried to sell me one time, or you possibly sold it to me.
It's the house that we were living in when my mother would go tell me to check the door.
Check the thumb.
Yeah. Make sure that door's thumb bolted.
Yeah.
And she just made that up.
That's a kind of a modern house for that time period, wasn't it? That's kind of angles and stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But we were out there. I was living over there then, and we were out there behind that old chicken house. We need to talk about that one of these days, about us being in the chicken business.
Yeah,
and we can talk about your cattle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
we'll get there. I'm sure you have some kind of history with chickens in some ways.
Well, we were on a laying farm.
Wow.
We gathered eggs and sold those. And
well, let's go on to the Columbia. Okay, because we're in a very special place here. Not everybody in the world has a Columbia or that kind of disaster.
Can you imagine as big as this world is and that thing
right over the top here?
Some of the 200 feet from where we're sitting right now was a instrument panel
Oh, wow.
in that field over, and there was those tiles off of it were in these pine trees that I have were about 4 to 6 foot tall, and they had those tiles. Those tiles, you can't imagine how many of them came across this county. And over there where we were working that day, I owned this property then, and then I lived over there on Woden Road. But we were back there working, and we had this old boy helping me. His name's Marty Deschard. He was a fireman.
I like that name.
And he was, Marty Deschard. That's a good name. And we were headed over here that day after we got through with the little dozer work over there that we were doing, tractor work. And he was sitting on the front of my trailer where he was mad at me because he wanted to get on over here and get this. We was going to put water line in for this place. And he said he was wanting to go. He didn't have nothing to do. He was sitting on that front of that trailer, and all of a sudden, he jumped up. I was on the tractor. I couldn't hear him.
Yeah.
And he went pointing up in the sky. I said, well,
he's finally lost it.
He's something's going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's something. And I pulled up. I said, what is it, buddy? He said, a plane just crashed around here close. He said, I'm telling you, between here and Woden, a plane's crashed. I said, what do you mean? He said, you see all that smoke up there and the trail where that.
Was it like that?
Yeah.
Well.
I said, I don't think so. So he said, okay. And ended up, that's what had happened. And but that's where I was when and then of course across the street where my grandmother lived over there, where Joe around there, where the old tornado shelter that we talk about and everything, and the old two-holer outhouse back in there. There was a cargo door off that thing that fell over there, and it was about half as big as that shuffleboard table. And, huge.
Now, wasn't there some story about a deer feeder? Do you know this story?
It wasn't a deer feeder. It was a chicken house feed tank.
Okay.
And
now we're not making
kind of
fun
the anatomy of a feed tank is that it's a probably a 12-foot diameter cylinder that is put together to form a round tank.
Yeah.
And it has a lid part on top of it. But on the bottom, in order for that to gravity feed down, it has to come into a cone.
Yeah.
And that cone was about 12 or 14.
So it looks a lot like a spaceship.
Like a spaceship, sort of. And let's just put it like this. Some people were over there helping to locate. This was the day that it happened.
No, we're not making fun. It was a tragedy. It was a terrible day.
Yes.
But people make mistakes sometimes.
And these people came out and said, we found the nose cone.
Which was a chicken feeder in real life, right?
And so they reported it in like that. I didn't know what, and I went up there and seen what the deal was. And but that was
didn't they have somebody guarding it? They had somebody guarding the chicken feeder
for a little while till the feed truck come in to put. Just kidding.
No, but I mean, did you go over there and say that's a chicken feeder, guys? You're guarding.
Yeah.
You know, mistakes can be made sometimes.
Yeah.
Well,
and that was a little amusing but everything else around it that day was none
horrible.
of that was.
Do you remember that when you and I went on an adventure one day in that red Camaro with the baby seat in the back? We went to Hosack and all those places. We went to Hemp Hill. Did you go to the museum with me that day, or was that a different day?
Yeah, that's the day we went.
And that Hemp Hill has a great museum about the Columbia. You know, it has a
Sure does. It really does have a
seriously.
Yeah. Seriously.
It's got a spacesuit from that and a journal.
All kinds of, I mean, it's got
memorabilia.
a bunch of their, just a bunch of things, personal things of the astronauts that died. Wow. And
now, wasn't there some newscaster that you got all excited about because they were?
Yeah,
there?
and I can't think of her name.
Well, she wasn't.
I guess the excitement's gone.
I guess so.
But anyway,
who would that been? That was from somebody from CNN.
Yeah,
like it wasn't Anderson Cooper or anything, was it?
No, it was a lady.
A lady, okay.
And anyway, she, I had the day that happened. I had that was back in the day of having those little cameras that you took the pictures and then took the camera into Walmart
to get it developed.
35 millimeter. And I had used up 3 or 4 of them, and I needed to get the films developed and everything. So the next morning, my wife at the time came in. She said, "Guess who's in Nacogdoches?" And I just nearly had her name.
That female anchor that was so beautiful.
Your lady on whatever channel she was on. I think she was actually on CNN.
Right. No, it was CNN.
Yeah, and they were all in town. I didn't know it. So I get up I said, sure, or something like that, and went on to sleep. The next morning, I got up way before everybody else in the house and went on up to Walmart to get me some more cameras and to turn in my film to get it developed. And I thought to myself, I said, I might as well go down North Street and see what's going on down in town down there. Well, when you got down there to about where First Baptist Church was, it was just like a circus.
Satellite trucks.
Just trucks and lights and people everywhere. And they, I parked my car and got me one of my little new cameras and went in there. And I walked up in the middle of that, and that lady that she was talking
was
about.
it like Shannon or something, or what would her name be?
I can't call it right now. Having a little old.
But she was a big deal.
She was a big deal. Yeah. Big deal. And I walked up there, and she was doing a live interview.
You didn't get on camera, did you? You weren't one of those people that stood behind her going, woo.
Oh, yeah. Boy, it sounds just like a train.
It's like a water heater blew up.
Yeah. Jumped that privacy fence and sucked the water out of the cement pond.
Uh-huh.
But anyway.
A privacy fence.
Yeah, privacy fence. And but anyway, when she got through with her little deal, I said, God, I nearly had that name. I called her first name. I said, you don't know me. And I said, but I want to get a picture with you. I said, my wife thinks I think that you're real shiny on TV.
Shiny?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's that's probably what
Did you scare her, or was she okay?
No, she was. And so...
you got a picture with her?
Picture with her.
So you probably have a picture of her somewhere.
Oh, I've got 2 or 3. They made copies. Some of the cameramen or something made some pictures. Wow. But that was pretty funny.
I bet you're in her scrapbook too, probably.
Probably not.
No. Okay.
I don't think they made any for her. But anyway, it was kind of funny and then I just walk in. It's the first person I see is.
The person you dreamed about.
This was, I went to the super center up there, and it was open 24 hours. It's probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
But I was up there doing all that.
I think next time we'll talk about mobile homes and stuff, because I've lived in a mobile home. He's lived in a mobile home. So once more, we got that in common.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.
See you. Yeah. Who was it on?
It was Ashley Banfield.
Okay. Yeah. Good picture of her and I together.
Yeah.
Were you there too?
No, I was in bed sleeping.
Okay.
He was just a child.
All right. Cool.